Hello, good day. Thanks for joining me. This is Adobe Fikemba. And in this channel, I told you I'm going to teach you physics, chemistry, and biology. We've learned chemistry, we've learned physics. Now we want to learn biology. And in biology, we've been talking about cells. Go and watch all the videos involved in biology part 1, part 2, and 3 up to this part so you can get a better and clearer understanding about the subtopic in this main topic, cell. So now, we're looking at cell structure and functions of the cell. So here we're learning biology. So I'll write it this way. There's a reason for me writing it very small. So biology, we're looking at cell structure components and its function. Okay, so I want to see the best I can do by, sorry for that. I want to see how I'll be able to quickly summarize all the components in this topic, cell. Okay, so in doing that, I'm going to split the board into two. Are you with me? I'm going to split the board into two. So I've written the topic, we're dealing with biology, looking at cell structure, component, and function. And in the previous listing, we looked at some of the cell structure in relation to their function. We talked about the cell membrane. We also call it the plasma membrane. And we said it's a semi-permeable membrane. It's a thin layer, it's flexible, and it's found in animals, the outer covering for animals. And it's made up of protein and lipids. We also talked about the cell wall, which is the outer covering for plants. It is fairly rigid, and it is found in the outer part of plants. It includes the cell membrane for plants. And then we also said that the cell wall contains cellulose. Okay, it gives the plant mechanical support. From then we went on to talk about the cytoplasm. Before we talked about the cytoplasm, we made mention of the protoplasm, and we said that the protoplasm is the living content of the cell. And from there, we went on to discuss the cytoplasm. We said the cytoplasm, 90% of the cytoplasm is made up of water. It is jelly-like, it is transparent. It contains what we call inclusions and cell organelle. Okay, so inclusions like oil globules, starch granules, and then cell organelles like the mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, the vacuole, the lysosome, the Golgi body, as the case may be, which we're going to be looking at now. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we also made mention of nucleus, but we didn't touch deep. So now, from cytoplasm, we'll be moving on to the next cell structure, which is the plastids. So we start from the plastids. I will do some explanations, and then I will see how possible I can draw both the animal cell and the plant cell. And then I will begin to use their diagram to explain their various components. Okay, so your duty is to watch the video over and over to write out whatever information, because I might not be able to start writing. So I'm going to clean this now. So when we look at the plastids, is one of the cell. Let me explain that. It's one of the cell components, plastids. Okay, the plastids are spherical organelle found in the cytoplasm of a cell, and these plastids, they are grouped into three. They are one. We have what we call chromoplast. It's a plastid, chromoplast. As I'm writing, I'll be cleaning. Follow me. Chromoplast is a colored plastid, okay, that gives color to plant parts. Colored plastic that gives color to plant parts. Example is the word petals. Petals of a flower. You see? So the petals of a flower is coming from this, okay, regulated by this, inside this, which is the chromoplast. Another plastid we have again is called leucoplast. This leucoplast is a colorless plastid. Its main function is for storage of starch, protein, etc. as the case may be. Its main function is for storage. It's a leucoplast. And lastly, the last one is called chloroplast. The chloroplast is also a colored plastid that contains a pigment we call chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll. So the chlorophyll is housed inside the chloroplast. So this is the green pigment found inside this. What does this chlorophyll does? It aids or supports in photosynthesis. One of the major functions of the chlorophyll is that it absorbs the sunlight and helps. As it absorbs the sunlight, that process helps to split water in the chlorophyll, and that process we call it photolysis of water. When we get to photosynthesis and all that, I'll be able to break down and explain all that. But now we're just looking at cell component as the case may be. So plastids found in the cytoplasm grouped into three: chromoplast, leucoplast, and chloroplast. And I've told you their function. This gives color to plant part is called petals, while this one stores what? Stores starch and protein. It is mainly for storage. Chloroplast is the colored plastid that does what? Contain a pigment called chlorophyll, which aids in photosynthesis. Is that clear? So we'll be moving on to the next one. The next one, which is the nucleus. Okay, so on that note, I'll clean this and quickly make a quick diagram of the animal cell. And then from there, I use it to explain the order. So let me divide the body into two. So we have a structure like this. We're looking at the cell now. We have a structure like this. Just follow me, okay? We're looking at the animal cell, okay? So we have something like this. Just pardon my board. I might not be able to do that, so I will need one side for labeling, okay? So we have something like this. Then we have a structure as what as this. The reason why I'm drawing this, I didn't want to draw down. It's just to give you an idea so that you can have what it looks like to learn how to draw and label, because it's very important. But you forgive my diagram, but I will try. Okay, in biology, there's something we call labeling to one side. The very essence. Now, I haven't done that. Then we have, now I'm going to use this to explain the nucleus. Now, look at this now. There's a structure here. Okay. You have something here this way. Now, this thing I'm drawing around this region is called the endoplasmic reticulum. Now, the endoplasmic reticulum transverses or passes across the what? Across the nuclear membrane in relation to the what? To the cytoplasm, then to the cell as a whole. What is the essence of this endoplasmic reticulum? The endoplasmic reticulum is divided into two based on the function it carries. And what are that function? Now, if the endoplasmic reticulum is endowed with what? With ribosome attached to it, then it means that that endoplasmic reticulum is called a what? A rough endoplasmic reticulum. But when there is an absence of the ribosome, we call it smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So why the rough endoplasmic reticulum? We transport protein because of the presence of ribosome attached to that rough endoplasmic reticulum. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for regulating substances such as corticosteroids and lipids. Okay, that is what that's. So here now I'm going to structures here that represents the presence. Why this one is smooth endoplasmic, this will be rough, showing you spherical. Ribosome is a spherical organelle, tiny spherical organelle that is responsible for the synthesis of what? Protein. So I'm trying to use this now to explain whatever. Pick everything you need to pick now. So this here, you have another structure inside of this place. This structure you have inside this place, then here you have some what we call chromatin granules, which you can call chromosomes. Okay? Now, take notes. Now, I'm explaining the nucleus now. The nucleus is usually the largest part in the cell. That's one. Then number two, so dealing with the what? The nucleus. Number two, it is a membranous structure. Okay? The nucleus have a membrane. That membrane is called nuclear membrane. Okay? So this is what we have what to call, I'll take this out, nuclear membrane. Okay? Membrane. Now, this structure you have here is called nucleolus. Nucleolus. Don't worry, I'm going to break this thing down. Just follow me. Now, this is nucleolus. Then you have chromatin granules. Chromatin granules. You might want to likely put it as chromosomes. Now, this whole thing makes up what we call the what? Nucleus. Do you see it now? You see it now? So, nucleus is membranous. The nucleolus is non-membranous. What is the essence of the nucleolus? The function of the nucleolus is to produce what we call the rRNA. That is ribosomal ribonucleic acid. Take notes. Ribosomal ribonucleic acid. So this nucleolus is responsible for producing some parts that forms the what? The ribosome. It's responsible for producing the parts that form the what? Ribosome. That's how we call it rRNA, meaning ribosomal ribonucleic acid. Sorry, this A is a capital letter, not small letter. Okay, so are you seeing it now? So this is ribosomal ribonucleic acid. So the nucleus is found at the center of the cell. Is that clear? Inside of the nucleus, you have what we call another little nucleus. That little nucleus is what we call nucleolus. This nucleolus